What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a great day. We playing some Raid Shadow Legends, and today I want to talk a bit about Hydra Clash and some of the DPS champions that people are using to get ridiculous numbers. Obviously, there are the Trundas, there are, the Wixwell comps that are coming out now, but there's a ton of other solid DPS champs that you could be using to get solid damage. Now, before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to Sam Solstice, who runs the RSL leaderboard Discord. She sent me the link to this comp in particular, which I tried to mirror to get a similar comp worked out on one of my clanmates accounts. It's an absolutely ridiculous comp. We were just trying to get Toshiro going a bit more. We know that he can do some crazy damage, and I was able to come out with something solid, but not anywhere near what this guy was able to do. But I did make a variation of the comp, and we were able to get some considerable damage out of it. The initial video I did was on hard or brutal difficulty, but as you can see here, I put it on nightmare and we were able to get some solid damage out of it. I hit 1.5 billion, which is, it's good. It's not exactly what I was intending. I was, intending to do way more. I wanted to be able to get at least 1 billion damage out of Toshiro and Geralt, independently, at least 1 billion out of them independently. We didn't quite get there. We got about halfway there, which just goes to show you like how much stronger some of these guys' gear is, how they've put together the synergy a lot better than, what I could without spending a ton of time with it. But let's take a look at the list of Hydra champs that people have been using. And if you have any of these, it could probably help out your account significantly in Hydra Clash. This is Nightmare Hydra. This is damage that people have submitted. There probably could be some that we don't know about that people have, achieved, greater things. But one thing that is very consistent among this list is actually Hex, which just goes to show you how powerful, champs with Hex or the curse set can be. So if you don't have curse set on any of your champs, or you aren't using any champs that bring Hex into your comp, that's like a place that you could honestly start just to improve. Now, at the top of the list is obviously going to be the champions that need no introduction, the ones that have been destroying Hydra Clash for some time now, or are now destroying Hydra Clash and destroying some people's happiness and enjoyment for the game as well. At number one, obviously Trunda. So if you have Trunda or you can exploit this comp in any way, definitely do it, because it doesn't seem to be getting nerfed anytime soon. Corpulent Cadaver, which is no more. I know some people are still using it in clan boss. It's still viable for clan boss, but in Hydra it's just not viable. We have Yannicka now, who is the star in the Wixwell comp. Hex is bringing in a ton of damage there as well. And then as we move down, we see more, Hex from Yumiko doing a ton of damage just based on Hex, which is pretty much just Trunda damage that is being counted towards her. We have Lydia, same in a Hex set, pretty much getting that splash damage from Trunda or other comps that Lydia is being used in. And then we start to get into, other champions that people actually may or may not have. Obviously, some of these you're going to have, some of these you aren't, but you're able to do some significant damage. So we have Geralt here, mythical champion, who was in the comp that I used. Solid champ for sure. I love Geralt, probably my favorite mythical champ. Geralt can do some ridiculous damage, and if you have a Geralt, definitely use her in Hydra. We have Toshiro, who was also in the comp that I used. Toshiro. These champs are recording 2 bill individual damage. That is a lot of damage. If you have nothing else in your comp other than this champ, you've just gotten yourself 8 billion damage. So these two champs, very solid. Obviously not competing with Trunda doing 80 billion. That's just a ridiculous number, but it's still solid. Michinaki, who was a guaranteed champion, putting up 1 billion, obviously getting, splash damage because he places Hex. He can do some considerable damage himself though. Taras, Void Legendary, a lot of people might not have him, but a good bit of people do at this point. I don't have him on my own account, but if you got a Taras, man, you can put him in Nightmare Hydra. He's going to do some work for you. Same with Harima. A lot of people, probably have Harimas now. If you don't, then maybe you do have something else that is on this list. Harima can do some considerable damage though. And this is nightmare damage, guys. This is not, you know, normal. This is not hard. This is not brutal. This is nightmare. So just think what these champs do on brutal and hard and normal. You know, if you're not even competing at, you know, the highest level, you can still get some considerable damage on the lower levels with these champs. We got Krisk here coming in, almost 1 billion damage, 848 million damage, obviously in a curse set, so he's getting a lot of splash damage from other champs, but he has an AoE A1 opportunity to do some solid damage for you. Then we got Razzlevarg doing 800 mil on Nightmare. Razzlevarg was a fusion. A lot of people have him. They also gave us an opportunity to get a decent soul for him in the game as well, which is not going to be easy for the majority of people to do, especially if you're not spending on the game. This is some amazing damage, man. We got Carnage, who is the champion that we can get from Curse City, doing some considerable damage there. That's solid. Varl the Destroyer, an amazing champion for Hydra now, right? We didn't know that he was going to be this good when we were first presented with his kit, right? But he is a champion that everyone can get. You'll be able to get him from Doom Tower. You do the secret rooms, you collect all the fragments, you have the opportunity to get him. This is a champion. I'm not going to go ahead and say it's free to play, but if you play the game consistently enough, at some point it could be free to play. I know people that are free to play that definitely have them on his account, on their account. So this is essentially a free to play champion. It's going to take you some time to get him, but you can get this guy and he can do considerable damage for you. We have the Archer here come in with solid damage, obviously because of Hex. Oboro comps. This is 636 million individual damage. Obviously Hex playing a big part in that. Grazur in Hex as well. We have Turvold, raw damage, 500 million raw damage, right? We've got, you know, Rathalos here, who was a free champion. Everybody has a Rathalos. He was free. Now, you might not have the gear to pump out 473 million. You might not be able to get that out, but you can get something out of this champion. Even if you're only doing normal, even if you're only doing hard, you can get something out of this champion. We have Eostrid, you know, obviously Hex providing a lot of that damage, but Ninja, right? A lot of people nowadays aren't going to have Ninja. There's going to be a considerable amount of people that do, but obviously a lot of newer players, they're just not going to have them, but solid damage, right, on Nightmare. You know, you think you need a Charizia, you think you need, you know, all of these other champs. You don't. For those people who were playing when Ninja was free and available, if you have been a light spent, you know, player since then, you don't spend a ton on the game, you have a Ninja, invest in your Ninja, right? Get your Ninja unlocked out of, if he's stuck in Clan Boss, if he's stuck in a particular build, like, no, get him out of that. You can easily find a replacement for him in that content, unless it's, you know, Sand Devil, and then, yeah, it's not easy to find a replacement for him. We got Mother Sabelle in here. A lot of Hex damage, so splash damage mostly coming from, you know, other people doing damage. Lazarius. We have a Fetus, so 2 more mythicals, not that accessible. We have a Charizia, you know, doing solid damage. That's a Void. We got Cardiel coming in with 300 million damage. Cardiel's passive is allowing him to do this much damage because he's getting an opportunity to take a turn essentially every time someone on your team takes a turn. He could do some considerable damage. I had someone message me recently showing me that they had put their Cardio in Savage and he put up what, like 70 mil in the comp, which I was pretty surprised with. But as you can see here, someone has recorded 300 million individual damage with this champ. We have Cupidus, we have Venus coming in right behind there, almost 300 mil respectively between the two of them. That's awesome. We got Supreme Gaelic, one of my favorite Hydra champs. He does so much. 200 mil from him. And then we have, you know, the list goes on. Sisia, we have Necmo, we even have Whisper in there, we have Mashald in there, or Masalit. We got Wukong, another free champion, giving you 160 million. That is some solid damage. We have a Tuhana Rock, we have Nut, and then we have a Mikage. So, you know, if you do Mikage Fusion, which everybody has an opportunity to do, they've given us a ton of opportunities to get the chance for Mikage. It's not the easiest fusion to do in the world, albeit it is a mythical champion. Some of these champions are pretty accessible. We even have a couple. We got epics on here. Whisper is on here. Oboro is on here. People are still, you know, doing wondrous things with these epic champions. So this is the list. If you have individual damage higher than anything that we've seen here, I would encourage you to go submit it. People are submitting these things every day. If you want to get some ideas for comps that you could be building, right? Comps that are, you know, in the meta, see what other people are doing with different champions. I encourage you to hop in the RSL leaderboard Discord. You can see some of the things people are doing in game, and hopefully this video helps you out in some way. If you have any of these champs, I encourage you to test them out, min max, try to get their damage up, try to enable them to do you know, as much damage as we've seen recorded, because sometimes it just takes seeing it to know that it is possible. So that's going to be all for this one, guys. I don't know that this video is honestly going to help too many people, just because this is very, very in-game as far as these builds, as far as the comps. I was pretty happy with this damage that I was able to get with Tashiro. This felt good to do something a little different. I did manual this entire run. It took a while. I think it took me like just over an hour 20 minutes. I think I put it on auto the last 4 minutes right there, but I ran the entire thing. So maybe we go back to the drawing board. Maybe I'll come back and shoot for that 1 billion a piece damage. I really like Tashiro. I really like Garo. So maybe we'll come back and I could treat you guys to some more super well content. But thank you guys for your support as always. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll actually put a link to the RSL leaderboard Discord down below if anybody wants to hop in there. Check out what, you know, in-game people are doing. But until next time, guys, be good and be well.